In today's economy, more people than ever are looking to buy and sell businesses. But how do you do it? Welcome to the Deal Board, presented by Transworld Business Advisors. Straight talk about real deals and real people. Listen to stories, interviews, and expert advice to help your business sale, merger, or acquisition process. Now, here are your business exit experts, Andy and Jessica.
Hello, and welcome to the Deal Board, the business exit experts. My name is Jessica Fiakovich, and I'm here with Andy Cagnetta.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
And we just wanted to introduce you to our podcast. Andy and myself are owners of business brokerage firms, and we're here to pull the curtains back and show you what really happens inside of a deal, meaning when you purchase or sell your business, what really goes on.
Yeah, I listen. This should be a really fun topic for everybody. It's great for small business owners, even going up into the middle market. It's great for franchise owners too. That's what we do here at Transworld, and we see everything. I mean, and this is where there's so many interesting stories, so many things that people do in their businesses that cause them not to be profitable, but cause them to be unsellable, cause problems in deals. And then, this is a great opportunity. We were talking before we started this podcast, that we were talking that a lot of people in business could really profit and really grow their businesses through acquisition. And this will be a great way to learn how to do some acquisitions in your business because, there's so many stories about baby boomers retiring and the numbers of people that are going to come to the market, that it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for small businesses to grow if you know what you're doing. And I think we could really help people. I mean, how many deals are we doing these days, Jessica?
Oh, I mean, we're doing thousands a year across our entire franchise network. And I think currently we have over billions of dollars of businesses listed for sale right now. So, I mean, really, like you said, it is a complicated process and there's not a lot of good information out there. But I think our stories and kind of the interviews that we're going to have with brokers and sellers and will just help business owners really understand the process and how they can succeed either in a sale or like you said, grow through acquisition.
Yeah. And listen, we're going to have an opportunity for people to come on the show and ask questions. And once we get all of our social media contacts going, I think people will be contacting us. But listen, you could always contact us through our website, tworld.com. You could find Jessica and myself anywhere. I mean, through LinkedIn, through Facebook, through our website. There's plenty of places that you could contact us to talk more about businesses. And that's what we really love. I mean, we're, at the end of the day, we have one motto here at Transworld. It's we want to do good deals for good people. We want people to experience their kind of entrepreneurial existence, get them into a business and let them take a piece of a slice of their American pie. And, I just feel for people. And I know you do too, Jessica.
Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, the thing I love about this business the most is that I get to work with business owners and entrepreneurs every day. And, both of us, that's what we are at heart. And really, I think that's why we love this business.
So, Jessica, we want everybody on this podcast to understand who we are and where we came from. So why don't you give us a little bit of how you wound up in this crazy business?
Yeah, it's a kind of crazy story, but a good one at the end. So my name's Jessica Fiakovich. I'm originally from New Jersey, and I now live in Colorado. But about 6 years ago, I owned a business in the wine and spirits industry in Southwest Florida and decided to sell the company because I wanted to move to Colorado and really had no idea how. So we ended up selling the business. My husband and I owned it together through a business broker. And, it was an okay transaction. We were really frustrated in the process and didn't really know what we were doing and didn't have a ton of guidance at that time. And we were pretty young. So throughout that process, we really became interested in the industry and how to buy and sell companies and how to help entrepreneurs do that. We took about a 6-month road trip after that sale and relocated to Colorado and started doing some, digging about the industry and business brokerage and M&A. And that's when we were introduced to Transworld and yourself, Andy. So that was about...
It was a good day.
It was a good day. Yeah. So it was about 5.5 years ago. And my husband, Al, and I started our office, just one small office in central Denver. It was just me, him, and our dog, Sailor, who still comes to work every day. But now we've grown pretty quickly. We have 5 offices up and down the Front Range in Colorado, spanning from Colorado Springs all the way up to the border with Wyoming. And we help hundreds of business owners every year sell their companies, and we've had a lot of fun.
You've been doing a great job. Should we put a plug in for Sailor's Instagram or something like that? So
yeah. Sailor's Instagram is Sailor the Traveling Dog. He's got a few hundred followers now, so maybe we can get him up over 1,000.
We'll get that going. But you yourself and Al have been doing a great job, and your team. I mean, it's so much fun to watch, your offices grow and doing, again, we talk about it all the time, doing good deals for good people. So that's what we're all about. So I think you're going to add your voice and your experiences, not only being an entrepreneur, before Transworld, but now, dealing with thousands of businesses and seeing all the things we see at the Transworld level. And, Jessica is also the president of our national ad fund. So she's got a big marketing background as well, and guiding, our hundreds of offices in the United States and literally over 400 agents here in the United States, relying on her expertise to, help promote Transworld and help, again, promote doing good deals for good people. So great. Thanks for telling your story, and let's move on.
All right, Andy. So in the spirit of letting the listeners get to know us a little bit better, you've been in the business now for over 20 years. Kind of tell us your story about how to get started and how you got here.
Well, much like you, I was kind of a serial entrepreneur. I graduated from Lehigh University, and I grew up in New Jersey, like you. But I was kind of traveling around the Northeast, opening small little businesses, a lot of different small things that I'm sure we'll eventually talk about. I won't get into it here, but I had sold my small business in Connecticut at the time, had met my wife, and she wanted to move to Florida, which was not such a bad thing. So I wound up in Florida, as well as I know you and Al eventually wound up in Florida. And so in winding up in Florida, I started looking to buy business, and I started looking in the newspaper for businesses to buy. And because Al Gore hadn't invented the internet yet, I decided to, visit some business brokers. And for the most part, I was disappointed in what I found as far as service and people helping me buy business. And I was very confused. I'll give all the business brokers out there who were dealing with me at that time. I was 20-something years old. But Transworld, I ran into Transworld, and was being run by Don and Bonnie Parrish, and very nice people. Don was a 30-year IBMer. Bonnie was Eastern Airlines, Pan Am. And they were just, customer service, smart, just welcoming to me, and invited me to join the team. So I joined the team in 95, and I sold a bunch of businesses. I sold 9 businesses in my first 9 months, and I really enjoyed the business. I thought this was great. Again, helping good people buy businesses, and, being rewarded for, a lot of money sometimes when we sell these businesses. So I enjoyed the business. And then 2 years later, I bought the firm. And we've grown the firm from our one office here in Fort Lauderdale, where, we had 7 people at the time. We grew it up in Florida to 9 offices, and, about 80, 90 people here in Florida now. And then, 8 years ago, we decided to franchise, which, I'll maybe cut this story a little short, because I'd love to leave that for, I'm sure we'll do a podcast on how to franchise your business.
Yeah, that'd be a great topic.
Yeah, so we definitely have to do that. So I was fortunate enough to run into United Franchise Group when exploring all the options for franchising Transworld outside the state of Florida. And because franchising is a great, and maybe we'll get Jason Anderson to come on, or someone at United Franchise Group to talk about it. But in our program here at Transworld, to help people franchise their businesses. But they, literally took us and spread us across the world. I think currently we're in 16. We just announced New Zealand, so we're in 16 different countries, and it's been a great ride. And I've seen so many transactions and so many franchising opportunities. And I think it's going to be fun for you and I to bring some of the great people we have here at Transworld onto the show, and really give them a kind of a flavor of what goes out there on the street, and that's kind of the idea of this. So glad to be here, and I'm glad to tell a little bit of my story, and I think it'll be very relevant to business owners who are looking to eventually exit their business.
Yeah, and your story is a great story of growth, and it will be really fun to have all of our different brokers and franchisees around across the world, because one of the most interesting parts of being part of a franchise family is just getting to know the different markets and how business goes on in different countries. So that'll be exciting to have them on as well.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. And we just want to continue to introduce you to some of our guests that we're going to have on an ongoing basis. And we're certainly trying to get people from all around the country. And one of our special guest is Eric Straus, and Eric Straus is hailing from Manhattan and a longtime New Yorker. And I think it's always good to get a kind of New York opinion on things. And so I think, Eric, what I like about you, Eric, is you're kind of direct and to the point. So, but why don't you give a little bit of background to what you're all about and your entrepreneurial background, and how long you've been with Transworld now, and then we'll have you on an ongoing basis.
Thanks so much, Andy. And I will try to keep the New York attitude, but also try to keep it clean, if I'm able.
I was wondering if we had to do that.
So let's see. I guess at this point, I call myself a serial entrepreneur. My family has been in the radio business forever, so I started out in the radio business, and then I went into investment banking. I did mergers and acquisitions in the media space for 2 years for a British firm called Henry Ansbacher, and did 18 deals in 14 months. And just I love doing deals, and I already love the media. I saw these sort of rich idiots getting rich in the media business and thought I wanted to be a rich idiot. So I bought a radio station up in Ellenville, New York, which was a town of 4,000 people. Moved up to Ellenville. We were selling spots for $1 a spot back then. So anyway, it was quite a change from the New York City lifestyle. But as I was up there, things started to go well. I leveraged it up, took out a bank loan, bought more radio stations. And over 10 years, I had 10 radio stations up in the Hudson Valley, 2 hours north of New York City. By then, it was the late 90s, and I was nervous about how satellite radio would impact my business, and also how consolidation in the radio business would impact my business. So I put the stations up for sale. Clear Channel was buying up what is now iHeart, was buying up everything back then. And I went to a good friend of mine who was a well-known radio broker, and we were able to get, a pretty amazing number for those radio stations. By the way, it turns out I was wrong. The reasons I sold were wrong. That's not why the radio doesn't start through badly. Satellite really never impacted radio, but radio, is not in such good shape anymore, mostly because of all the streaming options now online, I believe. I also want to point out, as a Transworld business advisor right now, every time I've sold a business, I've always used an intermediary. I've always signed them exclusively. So I'm always happy to point that out, because I really do believe it's important. And I did that as well. And then after I sold my radio stations, I started an internet company in the help wanted space. Sold that in actually in 08. We put it up for sale in 07. I just sort of felt things slowing down. I didn't know a big recession was coming, but we got very lucky. We closed on that in February 08. The world sort of fell apart economically in March of 08, so talk about lucky timing. And I worked for that company.
Timing's everything.
Right? I worked for that company for 2 years, learned a lot of things about myself, one of which is I'm not a very good employee. And sold that after my 2-year thing. I started another internet company, which was a miserable flop, sort of in the coupon space. I tried to take Valpak online. Was sort of my concept. Anyway, miserable, humiliating flop, and very humbling. But you learn from your experiences. And after that was, after that fiasco, I was sort of looking around for things to do. And my wife suggested I go to a franchise expo. And went down to Florida, and I bumped into Transworld. And I'm like, this is perfect for me. I love doing deals. I love working with small and mid-sized businesses. And I think my experience as a business owner and as a deal maker can bring things to the table, and I can offer something to clients. And that was about 6 years ago. And I love doing it. I love working on deals. I really enjoy business. And one of the real joys, which I think is maybe unique to Manhattan, not totally unique, but anyway, is often English is not the first language. So my first deal was a Turkish seller and a Korean buyer. And there's just such a melting pot here. And it's fascinating to see how different cultures run businesses differently. So for a guy who sort of loves the melting pot and loves business, there's no better place to be.
Well, and you're doing a great job. And I think listen, some of our best brokers, and, we'll talk about this a lot, but what's great about Transworld, the 500 people that are now with Transworld, there's so many different backgrounds, varied backgrounds, and very expert, so many different expertise. And you bring, deal expertise and media expertise and just getting deals done. And so we're happy to have you, and we're looking forward to calling you often and asking your opinion and getting the East Coast kind of side of what's going on here at Transworld and here at the Deal Board. So thanks for coming on today.
Thanks so much, Andy. Talk to you soon.